Rick.
Good morning, Keith Jones.
Good morning, my
Hey, we're
friend.
both fully clothed and we're indoors. Isn't that exciting?
It is. It is. We're like that in every show, by the way, everybody. Just in case. Just in case.
It's the studio rules, right?
Exactly. You've got to have some rules around here. The title of this show is Attraction, Not Promotion. And this was inspired by a new friend that I made. We happened to work together, but we just, after many years, I know a family member of this person. And we met up recently because we worked together, but we met up recently because that family member was saying, you got to meet Keith and things like that, because you guys have a similar, philosophy regarding living life. And when I met with her, she inspired the title of this show, which is called Attraction, Not Promotion. And where it came about is that we both were openly sharing about our experience of growing up in a home where a family member suffered from alcoholism. And if you grow up in that kind of environment, I think for a lot of people, at least it's been my case, is that it affects the whole family. At the time that I didn't know that it did, but it did in a lot of ways. I learned later. And so, especially because I was unconscious, I mean, as a young person, and I carried that unconsciousness with me many years later. And I had a friend who invited me when we first started doing ToBeRe, who invited me to an AA meeting. And I went to this AA meeting. I admired the friend. I believe in like the power of community and support. So I went to the meeting with her, and she'd been going for like 12 years. She goes 3 times a week, and she's done that since she's been 12 years sober at the time. It's been a lot longer than that now, we're 20s now. But when we go to the meeting, I was blown away with like the deep sharing and connection and vulnerability and everybody, like their healthiness and well-being was completely inspired and by everyone else's. Like they wanted, as much as they wanted to be healthy and well, they wanted others to be healthy and well. They were there with them. It was a shared experience in which everybody was supporting each other, inspiring each other to be, their best. So I walked out of like, I was amazed. And at the time, I was doing a lot of the ToBeRe stuff with 1 or 2 people back then. Joe and Ben were helping me do all the ToBeRe things for everyone who went through a workshop at the time. And of course, you joined thereafter, and a lot of people. And so I was trying to think of a way to create this relationship between myself and everyone who was volunteering their time, to where it wouldn't be a mentor-mentee relationship or an employer-employee, but what it would be like a sponsor, to where everybody wins, everybody gives and contributes equally. There's no hierarchy. And so I was inspired by the model that AA uses, right? It was just unbelievable. So anyway, coming out of that, I was like blown away by it. So fast forward to this meeting that I had a few weeks ago with a colleague that I work with, and they were telling me about their experience with Al-Anon, which is for loved ones of people that have struggled with alcoholism, which you're familiar with. And so what she was telling me is that her sister and her mom had been going to the meetings for a long time, and they've invited her to go. And she had seen the way their lives had changed, but she was like, this is not for me, but one day she went and she kind of went, wasn't fully committed to going on a regular basis. And so I asked, like, man, your family saw you suffering. And they didn't kind of say, hey, listen, we see you suffering. You should come more. You should come more. And she was like, no, they didn't do that. They just kept living their lives, and their lives became models of like what healthy living looks like, of what the commitment takes to live in a healthy way, of what the commitment it takes to transcend your past or your narratives about the past. And so they have this saying in Al-Anon that's called attraction, not promotion, which means by the way you live your life, that can inspire people to take a look at their lives and live it in a different way. But you don't try to manipulate, influence or try to control or browbeat somebody to take care of themselves. You and I did a podcast a long time ago about the key to changing people. The key to changing people is with them. It's just not with you at all. They got to be ready to change. And so I just thought this would be a great topic, would be that, attraction, not promotion. And I've really, in the beginning of ToBeRe, I used to really try to like, man, this is what you said you wanted. These are your goals. Like, come on, like, why don't you show up today? Or why don't you just, and it was so much energy that I put in that. Like, it was as if I wanted it more than they wanted it. I was willing to work not only for myself on what I need to work on for me, but I was doing the work. I was doing their work for them. It's exhausting, man. That's how you burned out. And then I started to do the practice. I let all that go. I was like, hey, if you want a partner, great, then we can do it together. You don't want a partner? Great, that's fine. Keep doing your thing. That's your path. This is my path. No judgment about their path. And what I found was, man, is that people have what I responded to was I was inspired by other people. I was attracted to them. And it was nothing that they said. They may have made an invitation, but almost always it was like, hey, I noticed something about you. Oh, this is what I do if you want to try it. But if I didn't try it, they were cool with that too. But because they were about attraction, not promotion. And people often tell me like, man, Keith, I want to be around your energy like all the time. And I'm like, man, like, that's cool. Like, that's great. But like, you can create this energy too. like you can be this for yourself and for others too. Like that's like you could have this all the time without me being there. Like, you can have this. But I mean, and if we're together, it's even more energy, even more love, even more kindness in that space if we're both doing it. But we don't have to. I mean, my light is pretty strong, man. I'm a light. We light up the whole city, with this light. And it's not me. It's me being committed to allowing consciousness, awareness, universe flow through me. And my job is to every day get up and do this practice so that I don't create any barriers for that to happen. Like, that's my job every single day. It's a small job, it's a little job, but it's an important job. And so, and by doing that, man, I'm finding that it's much easier to attract than to promote. What are your thoughts, Rick?
Oh my God, Keith, what a testimony. I mean, that is incredibly powerful. I think anyone who's around you gets that right away and wants to get what you have. And what they don't realize is it sometimes means a bigger commitment than they were planning to give. People are very comfortable. You get into the rocking chair of life, where you're sort of dealing with everything on automatic pilot. What you're doing is almost 180 degrees beyond that, past that, on the other side of that. And that takes a lot of getting used to, and it takes a lot of power for an individual to give up what's comfortable, to try something that isn't, but will in the long term benefit them. When you were speaking about attraction versus promotion, I was thinking how our culture is the actual opposite of that. I mean, think of it. You look at Facebook, you look at Twitter, you look at LinkedIn, anything that has to do with presenting a face, a figura, a face to the other person or the other to the world, has to do with making it beautiful, a bella figura. And so we're always doing promotion. Now, in business, I suppose there's a need for that. I'm not even sure that's true, but in Facebook, it's all about looking good, not looking bad, and being with the right group and saying the right things and having lots of likes and all of that stuff. And I think that's just sort of the habitual default way that our culture works. So it's very, very difficult to stop self-promoting. But the reality is there's no need.
There's no need.
There's zero need. You live the life that works according to your best insights in the kind of disciplined way that brings results for you. And results are measured in terms of inner peace, compassion, the feeling that you're alive and connected to nature and all of life. You live according to those precepts, and you don't need anything more. You don't need to tell everyone that you just won 7 awards or 2 awards, or your kid's now an honor student. I mean, there's pride. I accept pride, of course. We all do. We all are proud of ourselves or something we've done, but we don't need to broadcast it, right? We don't need to promote it. in a way where we're beating people over the head with how great we are. So to me, I think promotion is one of the more difficult things to overcome in this culture. It's built in, and it's built into the economic system, the employment system, any system. I think even in sports or amateur athletics, it's all about promotion, and
Yeah.
I'm sad about that. I think that's causes people to spend a lot of extra time where they don't need to, and it also puts the emphasis on the wrong thing.
Right.
You want to be living principles. You don't want to be carrying around a billboard with your picture on
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. And whether it's your picture or your beliefs, you know, or whatever it is, or your political leanings, or whatever the case may
it.
be,
Sure.
you know, that all qualifies because you're so identified with it that you think it's you. How do you know you're identified with it, right? So that's the question, right? How do you know you're identified with it? Because if somebody thinks differently about it
That's right.
or criticize it, you feel personally injured. They
That's
become,
right. That's right.
they become an enemy. The minute that they think differently, they become an enemy. You can take it from sports teams where people will get into fisticuffs over that, to people like voted for one person, somebody else voted for another person, and like you know, they're ready to go to battle over that. Anything that you're so, I mean, somebody says something about the other group or your belief or whatever else, and it's a personal attack. I mean, that's the same thing what you're saying with the promotion thing. And that's when you know it's not. Like, I understand this whole practice thing that I am committed to doing. If you got another thing, beautiful, baby. like do another thing, beautiful. Like I'm all about whatever you do. Are you peaceful? Is the way that you're living a way that is attractive to the people around you who love you, who work with you, and things like that. Like, I mean, and when I say attractive, I mean, let me be clear about defining that. Is it full of compassion, love, kindness, inner peace? Is it that? And also, like, you know, if you sign up for something, are you fully in what you signed up for that helps promote those things? I mean, not promote those things, but help make those things attractive. Or do you do that? And really it's about like how you live, like how you live your life. That's the greatest thing. I mean,
That's
about it is the principles that you speak of. Is it reflected in your behavior and how you treat other people? Does that happen? And I think that's what makes
right.
these things attractive.
That's right.
And I look at that all the time, man. You know, the people that you know, those things where you're like, you don't see names on buildings, right? But you know somebody had to pay for it to they don't want their name on there. Like why? Like they're just like, I just want to give and contribute.
That's
Man,
right.
that's just amazing thing, man. And there are people that do that left and right every single day,
That's right.
all the time. You have no idea what they've done. And so that's really, really attractive to me. And I think, you know, one of the ways that I can contribute to other people and to, you know, this human experience is just doing the work on myself.
That's it.
I stay right outside my little
That's it.
storefront, sweeping up. Hey, so and so over here, you know, they're having problems down here, 2 stores down. I'm sweeping right here. I can't judge what they're doing down there. I got to keep this little space nice and tidy. There's enough going on in here, Rick. Before I started doing the practice, it was a mess in here. Our front is beautiful, all lit up. Keith Jones has got the lights up there. It's amazing. There's music playing. Depending on whatever you want to hear. Okay, you like classical music's playing. You like a big band. You got Count Basie and Dizzy Gillespie going. I got it all. But step inside. It was a mess in there, Rick. And so but once I started to clean up the mess inside, I became attracted to everybody. And I didn't change who I was to become this way. I stopped creating blockages for that to flow through me.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing thing. And I'm attracted to people that do that. I mean, you know, you and I have some special shared friendships, and they live this way, you know, not that it's better or worse. It's just a way that is attractive. And I absolutely positively like love this. I mean, I remember before, man, I used to come into the workplace or any space, tired, beaten down, and with a scowl on my face. Like I've been given this precious thing called life,
Yes.
and I'm treating it with this kind of disposition. Seriously? Like seriously? I mean, wow. I mean, why wouldn't I go to bed early so I can get up the next day and enjoy every bit of this gift that I have? Why would I? Why wouldn't I do that? I mean, I really have a different kind of perspective, man, and not letting myself be bothered by things that really don't matter. Like I'm really getting improving in that area too. Rick, so this is a shout out to my good friend, Rachel, again, who inspired this. Attraction, not promotion. You want to close this out?
Yeah, so wise, man. You don't live your life looking for strokes. You live your life according to principles that involve service, self-respect, respect for others, compassion, detachment from outcome. You
Yes.
become an example. You become a role model. You don't become a billboard again, an advertising brochure for how great you are.
Exactly.
And Wayne Dyer said something I thought was really prophetic years and years and years and years ago when he was early on his self-help stuff. And it was something like, your opinion of me is none of my business.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's exactly right. You live your life so that you don't feel like you're always trying to garner strokes, whether it's on the internet or person to person, in the workplace with your spouse. It's a matter of being true to yourself and letting the chips fall and having that attitude for others, living and let living.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love hearing you speak. I'm embarrassed to have to even chip in. I just like to sit and listen.
Oh, Rick, you're so kind, man. No, I'm glad you've been speaking to me for years, man. I love you, Rick.
I love you too, Keith. Take care now. We'll see you.
I'll see you. Thank you.